Hey, what's up everyone? Lucas here. In this tutorial, I want to show you what's going on with masks in GeoPix 1.0. These are pretty useful. If you've ever used a digital software like Photoshop or Maya or Blender, you're very well aware of what masks are. So you understand the potential here probably right off the bat. This is a simple fixture with two projectors. Each projector is utilizing a different mask of this fixture, and with that we're able to put content on very specific portions of this fixture. And this also works beyond a single fixture, so you can do this on entire bodies of fixtures and entire scenes. So very useful. Without waiting any further though, let's just dive in and I'll show you how we built this from scratch. So first thing to do is clear our scene as always, and from here we need to create a fixture. A fixture is the first thing we need to make. So down here in the bottom left, let's make sure we're in the Create tab. Then we can create a fixture under Technology. And once we've done that, we have an empty blank fixture in our scene. So next we need to get some pics in our scene. But to do that easily, we're going to just use a hull to generate a grid. So over here on the left, click on Hulls to dive down into the sub-object mode of the fixture. And once you've done that, you should be in Hull Add mode by default right here. If not, make sure you click that and enter Hull Add mode. And then back in the viewport, all you have to do is hold S on the keyboard and click on one of these orange dots. These are snap anchors, and you will get a single hull at that place that you clicked. So for me, I'm just going to put this in the middle so it's right on top of the fixture icon. And then I'm going to go over here under Hulls and click Select All, just to make sure we have it selected. It should be by default when you make it though. Next, we should go ahead and create a generator from selection. And that will take us out of hull mode into object mode, and it will select our generator for us automatically. So this is good because next we want to actually modify the settings on this generator to create an array, not a strip. So over here on the right we have generator type, so we'll go and click from the drop down grid. As you can see right away we already have a grid, but we want to go and tweak this, maybe make it a little bit larger. I'm just going to use 20, 20, 5 and 5, and that's just fine for the sake of this tutorial. So from here, I'm actually going to just delete this generator because we don't need it anymore. We've got our pics, and these aren't going to change for the rest of this video, so that is fine. Next, we need to make a couple projectors, and projectors are going to be how we get different content onto this in different patterns. So, back to the Create tab, let's go click on a projector. And that's going to put this on top of our pics, but it's obviously not working because it's exactly on top of our pics in the middle. So click on Fit Scene, which will go ahead and fit this to the kind of the overall bounding box of your scene. And I'm going to scoot this back on Z, maybe 150, let's do 100. And then I'm going to go ahead and group this projector with Control G. And what that's done is it's created a group in the middle of the scene and just put the projector as a child of that. So now we can actually rotate this group and just move our projector around the focal point by a certain amount. So for this, I just want to have it out of the center and put this at -45. And then I'll duplicate this group again, and then right click to cancel the transform, and I'll put the other one at +45. So you just have this left-right projector setup just like this. One more thing, I'm going to go ahead and actually set this to 1.2. 1.2, just oversize them a little bit, and then let's make these a little bit wider until our circle looks more or less 1-to-1. That's pretty close. So now we actually want to go ahead and get an extra piece of content for the right projector because we're just having the same content on both. It's not very helpful. So back in the I/O tab here, all we really need to do is create an effects. So open the effects bin right here and click on a ramp. This will drop a ramp with the default settings into your I/O tab. You can use W to enter transform mode and move this around. Right click will reset, left click will place. Don't worry too much about this setting. This part of the software, we'll actually come back to this in another tutorial and cover this in greater depth. But for now, just create a ramp, and then you can set up your ramp however you'd like. I'm just going to set some really basic colors here. Maybe make this a red and mostly black ramp like the tutorial started, and then I'll turn up the speed Let's just affect the period of the ramp a little bit, and then we can choose a different style here if we want. So I'll just do left to right, and I think that's fine for now. So back over here in Editor, I'll click on I/O texture. Once I have, well, first of all, select this projector on the right, which is Projector 2. Click on I/O textures, and then you can click on your ramp that you just created, and you'll have that now projecting across your fixture. So I'm going to tweak this a little bit by shift selecting I/O, and let's go ahead and slow the speed down a little bit, decrease the period, maybe slow it down even some more. That's fine. Okay, so now that we have these two projectors, we have them projecting onto RGB, which is what this array is. And the issue here is that they're both projecting the same pixels, so we want to actually separate the effect between two different masks. Now we can use more than two. If you have more than two projectors, you can use as many as you'd like, but for this tutorial we're just going to do two so you can see the concepts at their simplest. So if you select your fixture, go into Pix mode, here you will be presented with a bunch of selectable icons. Each of these is a pix, and in this case these are just red, green, blue pixels. So I'll hit B on my keyboard to enter Marquee Select, and you can also just click over here on the left and just left click drag, and we'll go ahead and select, holding shift, we'll do this again, and we'll go ahead and select our outline. And now this could be any shape, but I'm just doing an outline because it's easy and you can see it pretty clearly. And so once I've done that, I can let go of shift. And I have this selection of picks, so we need to create a mask from this. And the way we do that is we open our channel map tab over here in the top right. And this is only accessible, by the way, when you're in Pix mode. So once you open that, you're going to be presented with a window that might look different than this. Just make sure you click on the drop down here and go from Chan Map to Masks. We want to be in Masks, not Channels. We'll cover this in another tutorial as well. So once you're in Chan Map, you'll notice that you just have this scrollable window here with kind of a weird selection of numbers. So each of these numbers is a single pix in your viewport, and the ones that are blue are not selected and the ones that are green are selected. So as you can see, if I deselect, everything goes to blue, and if I enter Marquee Select mode and I start highlighting, you can actually see this stuff update in real time. So it's pretty cool, very easy to kind of see what's going on. So I'm going to go and reselect those outer edges that I had a second ago. And once I've got, okay, I missed that by not holding down shift long enough. Let's try it one more time. There we go. Okay. Now that we have these outer edges selected, we can go up here into this field and just make up a name for our mask. I'm going to call it M1. And once we've done that, we've created a mask. So this mask just popped up here. That's what this entire column is. And I'll show you more about this column and how it works here in just a moment. But before I do that, let's go ahead and use this selection to create one more mask. So over here on the left, I'll click on Invert Pix Selection, which you can also use Control-I to do. And that's going to invert our selection. And I'll make another mask from this and call this M2. And I hit Enter on my keyboard, and now we've got two masks. One's basically the inverse of the other. So, okay. Now let's talk about these two columns here a little bit. These X's up here, if you click on it, will actually delete that mask, and it'll make this whole column disappear. I'm not going to do that here, but that's what those do. Each of these picks can be toggled independently. So if I select nothing, but I click over here, you can see that I'm toggling M2 for Pix 1 on and off. If I select 3 picks, for example, I can toggle all 3 on and off. So you can actually toggle as many as you want on or off based on the selection or just based on what you click on here. So it's very flexible and useful. Anyways, we're done making masks, so I'm going to close this pane and hop out over here into object mode. Once I've done that, I need to enable my masks in the projector. So we've created them, and the projector knows about them, but it's not set up to use them. So let's click on one of our projectors. We'll take the one on the left, for example, and we'll open up the mask palette, which is right here. And now we can see that the two masks that we've created, this is a global list. This will show you all the masks that exist for anything in your entire scene, even if just one fixture uses it. So in one, I'll go and click on that, and as you can see, now we're just putting this projector on the outline of that mask. Just to match the tutorial's beginning, I'll go ahead and use M2, so it's in the middle, and then this one over here, I can use M1, and I can even rotate this a little bit on Z to kind of get that that marquee effect that we had earlier. So anyways, that's pretty much it. From here, as you can imagine, there's lots of ways you can use the masking system to create more complex patterns and looks. You can have masks that overlap with each other. You can have masks that apply to just a small percentage of the panel. There's all kinds of things you can do with this. And then once you start streaming content onto these different projectors, they're going to respect and go through that mask until you use a different projector. So that's it for this tutorial. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let me know down below or shoot me an email. Thanks.